and second year medical student. So to confirm your name, may I know your name please?
My name is Yatin Gupta.
And your age please?
My age is 21.
Okay, thank you. So today I am going to perform your musculoskeletal examination.
Okay.
So would it be okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so during examination, if you feel any discomfort, just let me know so that I can stop my examination. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So for that examination, you should remove your T-shirt. Okay.
Okay.
In inspection of shoulder examination, inspect the shoulder and shoulder girdle anteriorly, then the scapulae and related muscles posteriorly. Note any swelling and fasciculations. Beginning medially at the sternoclavicular joint, trace the clavicle laterally with your fingers to the acromion. From the behind, follow the bony spine of the scapula laterally and upward until it becomes the acromion. Also identify the anterior tip of the acromion. With your index finger on the top of the acromion, just move your thumb medially and down to the coracoid process of the scapula. Allow your fingers to fall and grasp the lateral aspect of the humerus to palpate the greater tubercle where sheath muscles insert. The basipital group and tendon. Keep your thumb on the coracoid process and place it halfway between coracoid process and the greater tubercle. Palpate sheath muscles. Passively extend the humerus by lifting the elbow posteriorly and palpate carefully over the sheath muscle. Ask to raise his arms in front of you and over the head. Ask to raise your arms behind you. Adduction. Ask the patient to raise your arms out to the side and over the head. Ask to cross your arms in front of your body. Rotation. Ask to raise arm to shoulder level. Internal rotation. Ask to place one hand behind your back. Over test. Ask patient to adduct the arm across the chest. Apply scratch test. Ask the patient to touch the opposite scapula using two motion, that is test abduction and external rotation, and the second one is test adduction and the internal rotation. Impingement sign. Press on the scapula to prevent scapular motion with one hand and raise the patient's arm with other. For Hawkins impingement sign, flex the patient's shoulder and elbow to 90 degree with palm facing down, then with one hand other forearm and another on the arm, rotate the arm internally. For a drop arm test, ask the patient to fully adduct the arm to shoulder level up to 90 degree and lower it slowly. Can test. Elevate the arms to 90 degree and the internal rotate the arms with the thumbs pointing down as if emptying a can. Ask the patient to resist as you place downward pressure on the arms. And hands examination. Inspect the position of the hands in motion for smooth natural movement. Inspect the palmar and dorsal surface of the wrist. Any deformities of the wrist and hands. Any thickening of flexor tendons. Palpation at the wrist. Palpate the distal radius and ulna on the lateral and medial surface. Palpate the group of each wrist joint with your thumbs on the dorsum of the wrist, your fingers beneath it. Note any swelling or tenderness. Palpate the radial styloid bone and the anatomical snub box, which is more visible with lateral extension of the thumb away from the hand. MCP joints palpation. Palpate the 8 carpal bones lying distal to the wrist joint, and then each of the 5 metacarpals and the proximal, the middle, and the distal phalanges. Palpate any other area where you suspect any abnormality. Palpation of deep joints. Use the same techniques which is used in MCP joints palpation. For swelling, bony enlargement or tenderness. Radial and ulnar deviation. Ask patient to fingers towards the midline and away from the midline, respectively. Extension and flexion towards the ceiling and towards the floor, respectively. In hand grip strength test, ask the patient to grasp your second and third fingers. In Finkelstein test, ask the patient to grasp the thumb against the palm, then move the wrist towards the midline in Euler deviation. Thumb abduction, ask the patient to raise the thumb straight up as you apply downward resistance. Test tinal sign by tapping lightly over the course of the medial nerve in the carpal tunnel. To test Fallen sign, ask the patient to press the backs of both hands together to form right angles. In starting of knee examination, inspect the gait for smooth rhythmic flow as the patient walks. Check the alignment and contours of the knees. Observe any atrophy of the quadriceps muscles. Inspect any sign of swelling. In palpation, ask the patient to flex the knees and palpate the muscles, tendons, ligaments in relaxed position. And localize the structure causing the pain is important for accurate evaluation. In tibiofemoral joint palpation, facing the knees, place your thumbs in the soft tissues depressions on either side of the patellar tendon. Identify the group of the tibiofemoral joint. Note that inferior pole of the patella lies at the tibiofemoral joint lines. As you press the thumbs downward, you can feel the edge of the tibial plateau. Identify the margins of the joint. In palpation of medial meniscus, press on the medial soft tissue depression along the upper edge of the tibial plateau with tibia slightly internally rotated. Place the knee in slightly flexion and palpate the lateral meniscus along the lateral joint line. To palpate the medial and lateral joint compartments, flex the knee up to 90 degrees on the examining table. Palpate MCL. Medially move your thumbs upward to palpate the medial femoral condyle. Move your thumbs downward to palpate the medial tibial plateau. So, palpate medially along with the joint line and identify the MCL which connects the medial epicondyle of the femur. To palpate LCL, lateral to patellar tendon, move your thumbs upward to palpate the lateral femoral condyle and downwards to palpate the lateral tibial plateau. When the knee is flexed, the femoral epicondyles are lateral to the femoral condyles. LCL injuries are less frequent than MCL tenderness. Also on the lateral surface, ask the patient to cross one leg so that the ankle rests on the opposite knee and find the LCL. Palpate the patella femoral compartment. Locate the patella and trace the patellar tendon distally until you palpate the tibial tuberosity. Ask the patient to extend the knee to make sure the patellar tendon is intact. Patient supine, ask the patient to tighten the quadriceps as the patella moves distally in the trochlear group. Check for a smooth sliding motion that is called as patellofemoral gliding test. Palpate for any thickening or swelling in suprapatellar pouch and along the margins of the patella. Bulge sign with displacing milking fluid downward, stroke downward on the medial aspect of the knee and tap the knee just behind the lateral margin of the patella. Right hand. For a balloon sign, place the thumb and index finger of your right hand on each side of patella. With the left hand, compress the suprapatellar pouch against the femur. In ballotting patella, push the patella sharply against the femur. Along with compress the suprapatellar pouch. In McMurray test, with the patient supine, grasp the heel and flex the knee. Cup your other hand over the knee joint with fingers and thumb along the medial joint line. From the heel, externally rotate the lower leg, then push on the lateral side to apply a vulgar stress on the medial side of the joint. At the same time, slowly extend the lower leg in externally rotation. The same maneuver with internal rotation of the foot stresses the lateral meniscus. In abduction vulgar stress test, with the patient supine and knee slightly flexed, move the thigh about 30 degrees laterally to the side of the table. Place one hand against the lateral knee to stabilize the femur and other hand around the medial ankle. Push medially against the knee and pull lateral at the ankle to open the knee joint on the medial side. Adduction bear stress test with same position. Change your position so that you can place one hand against the medial surface of the knee and push laterally against the knee and pull the medial at the ankle to open the knee joint on the lateral side. Anterior drawer sign with the patient knee flexed 90 degree. Cup your hands around the knee with the thumbs on the medial and lateral joint line and the fingers on the medial and lateral insertion of the hamstrings. Enlargement test. Place the knee in 50 degree of flexion and external rotation. Grasp the distal femur on the lateral side with one hand, the proximal tibia on the medial side with other, the thumb of the tibial hand on the joint line. Simultaneously pull the tibia forward and femur back. Posterior draw sign. With the same position, push the tibia posteriorly and observe the degree of backward movement of the femur.
So I have completed your physical examination. So finally I found there is no defect.